Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How have you been?
I'm being good.
Good, good. Glad to see you this week.
Good to see you.
Okay. I want to remind you about confidentiality before we get started and just remind you that everything that we discuss in this session is in confidence and it will not leave this room. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's start by kind of going over what we talked about last session. We talked about the three main areas in your life that you wanted to focus on prioritizing, which were your family life, your school life, and then your social life.
hmm
Um, and we kind of talked about different ways that you can prioritize those areas in your life. So let's talk about how that's been going for you. Have you been able to start prioritizing these areas?
Yeah, I have. I've been working on it, trying to get it straight. Uh, I'm trying to make sure I fit family time after I get done with school every day. That way, I'm doing a little bit of both and trying to get back on track as far as because I want school to be a major issue, but at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm neglecting other parts of my life.
Okay.
So I've been working that in, and it's working pretty good though.
Okay. All right. So I hear you say that you have been trying to make it to where school is more of a priority than your friends, correct?
That's right, but yeah, fitting my family in as well.
Okay. So family and school. Okay. So you've been working on this. Are you able to see any changes in these areas since you've started?
Uh, a little bit. I mean, I think I just need some more time. I mean, I know things don't happen overnight, so I'm trying to give it a good chance. So,
Okay. Okay. Um, so let's talk about how you think it's helped. Um, let's start with your family.
okay. Well, I've been trying to spend more time my siblings, and us having a little bit more fun together. Spending time with my mom and my dad, stepdad, and I've been trying to help around the house some, which kind of relieves the tension around the house, especially having so much schoolwork. That doesn't leave a whole lot of time, so it makes it strenuous trying to get homework and try to do chores all at the same time. But
Yeah.
it's getting better. The more I try to plan my schedule, I see a little more light at the end of the tunnel.
Good, good. I think that's great that you are trying to help your mom around the house. Is she responding to that?
Yeah, she is. She is definitely seeing a little bit, but like you said, I think some things just take a little more time to see. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I want to keep pushing myself forward, trying to anyway.
Okay. So what are some ways that you think you might continue pushing yourself forward?
Um, well, I think maybe down the road, kind of maybe pay attention to more of how I schedule my school classes. Like if I can get them scheduled out a certain way to give me more time with my family
Okay.
or chores, and maybe that would help some.
Okay. So do you think you would be more effective having your classes done in the mornings or having your mornings open for being at home and getting things done around the house and then having school towards the end of the day or even into the evenings? Which way
Um,
do you think would work better for you?
I've always been kind of a morning person, so I think maybe the earlier the better.
For classes?
Right, for
Okay.
my classes, and maybe get those out of the way, and then maybe if I'm done by 1 or 2 o'clock, then that leaves me, 2 or 3 hours to get some chores done, and
Okay.
then leave the night for, little family time and get my homework done.
Okay. And that kind of goes along well with the way that you have discussed wanting to prioritize the areas. You know, you want to put school first. So I think that'll kind of help you by getting your classes done first thing every day.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Okay, okay. So when it's time to schedule your classes for the next semester, just keep that in mind. Maybe talk to your advisor or whoever it is that helps make your schedule for the next semester. Kind of discuss that with them and see if that would be an option for you.
No, I'll definitely try that.
Okay, okay. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your degree. You mentioned last session that you wanted a degree in criminology,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's kind of focus on what you think it looks like to have a degree in criminology.
Well, I mean, it's still early, and I it's kind of hard being in school without kind of knowing where you want to go, and it's been really confusing for me because I'm just not sure if this is the right thing to do because I don't want to have to backtrack. Going through school once is hard enough, but if I have to backtrack and do even more school, that would be even more strenuous. So,
Tell me what you mean by backtracking.
um, if like I go with say I go with criminology, and then I get further into it and I decide maybe this is not what I want to do, and I have to switch my major,
Okay.
then maybe I'm not. Maybe I haven't taken the right classes, and now I'm gonna have to retake those classes, which means even more time in school.
Okay. And you feel like that would be frustrating?
Yes, very, very
Okay.
frustrating.
Okay. Um, so maybe in future sessions we can explore alternative career paths. Maybe let's think about areas that you're interested in, different things that you would see yourself majoring in college. And if you have more of an interest in those in criminology, we can take a look at how to pursue a degree in something else.
That'd be great. Yeah, we
Okay.
can always look at that.
Okay. Do you have any other interests that you're aware of?
Well, the whole reason why I picked criminology is that I always see myself helping others, and I've always liked uh, our law system. So, I like us, people in general finding justice, being fair, and so that's why I was thinking maybe something in police. But I didn't want to be just a police officer. I
Okay.
wanted more out of myself.
Okay.
So I started looking around, and I figured if I got a criminology degree, maybe could get higher up in the food chain, probably as far as police go. But I mean, that's just what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay. Um, I think that's good. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind the next few weeks. And when we meet for future sessions, we can explore different options for you.
Okay,
Okay.
all
All
right.
right. So let's talk about how things in your social life are going since you've started trying to reprioritize.
Well, like I said, it's been some work, but I've had a few friends. They kind of feel like I'm neglecting them, and it kind of makes me feel guilty a little bit.
Okay. By neglecting them, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, there's been a few times I've been sitting at the house and been trying to get these other things prioritized as far as school and family goes, and I'll be sitting there and I'll be in the middle of doing some schoolwork, and I'll have a couple of friends call me, and of course I just silence it, and I'll say I'll just call them later, and just sometimes it feels like there isn't a later, and of course that doesn't make them feel very important, and of course that causes stress on me because here we go again. I'm getting all this tension that I'm trying to get rid of.
Okay. So that makes you feel guilty.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you feel like you're neglecting your friends when you're in the middle of studying or doing homework and you get a phone call
Mhm.
and you choose to ignore that call.
Right, and it's I mean, it's not really ignoring them, but it's more. I know that they're my friend, and I would think they would understand that I'm really trying to concentrate on my schoolwork. But
Mhm.
sometimes I guess some people don't see it that way.
Have you tried to talk to them?
I have, and I think it's just because it just happened. They're kind of just still a little upset about it, but I plan on talking to them. and letting them know how I feel. But right now they're just
Yeah.
upset at
Well, change can be hard,
me. Yeah,
especially at such a young age when you're not supposed to be focusing on the important things in life. You just want to hang out with your friends and do things with them. But I can imagine it's difficult trying to better yourself and get ahead in your
yeah.
life in those areas. Okay. So you mentioned feeling guilty about ignoring phone calls. What do you think that you can do? Do you think there are things that you're able to do to relieve some of that guilt?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe leave myself a reminder, like after I get done with my schoolwork, just to
Like a written reminder.
maybe, yeah,
Okay.
maybe so. Just maybe just a little note to the side to remind me to at least call them when I get done with my schoolwork, and if they don't answer, at least maybe they see that I call, showing
Okay.
that I care, maybe,
Okay.
or maybe they'll answer the phone and I can explain myself instead of just forgetting about it and making myself look worse.
Okay. Do you think that would make you feel better?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Do you think that your friends would understand?
I'm hoping so. I really do.
Okay. Okay. Um, so in the past few sessions, we've been setting goals and learning how to prioritize to get you where you want to be. Now, let's discuss for just a couple minutes where you see yourself maybe in the next 6 months. We've set these goals for your life, and you're working diligently towards reaching these goals
Hmm.
in specific areas. Where do you want to see yourself in 6 months?
Oh wow. Well, I like to see myself uh, more family oriented. Of course, I'm trying to do that. Possibly making sure that I'm on the right path as far as school, as far as what I want my degree in.
Okay.
Since we did talk about that, maybe have that fixed. Maybe knowing where I want to be exactly. Maybe
Okay.
that would help. And
Okay.
then, of course, my friends, I get to a point where maybe everything's okay. They understand what's going on, and finding some extra time to be with them too, because I want that just as much. So
Okay.
hopefully, maybe there I've got that balance.
Okay. What are some ways do you think that you could squeeze in extra time for your friends?
Well, you know, maybe if I get ahead in some schoolwork, if push a little bit harder, and maybe get ahead in some schoolwork, maybe that'll open up my schedule a little bit.
Okay.
And then, of course, if I spend more time with the family, maybe I won't feel so pressed for that open time to be just with them.
Okay. Maybe going back to school and, you know, putting more towards school each day. Maybe try setting your alarm clock for an hour earlier to where you're able to read a couple chapters to get ahead in a class or study an extra 30 minutes or so for an upcoming quiz that you've got. Maybe if you can knock out some study time before you even go to class, maybe that would free up some of your afternoons.
Yeah, I could try that.
Okay. You think that would be something you could do?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna look at trying to get those classes early. So maybe if I get the classes early, maybe there'll be time enough during the day where I'll have that extra time. If I don't get the classes so early, then yeah, I could try that.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. Um, is anything that we've discussed in this session been uncomfortable in any way that you would not want to discuss in future sessions?
No, no, not at all.
Okay. So you feel okay with how things have been going?
I feel okay. Like I said, I understand it's a building process, but I'm definitely okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you for coming in, and we'll see you next session.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.